Welcome to Collector Chatter. In today's episode, Fanatics Fest was all the hype this past weekend. Thrilljoy is finally hitting shelves. And Funko and Rokimoto both have some leaks that we're going to talk about.
Collecting is the way. Now let's chat.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Collector Chatter. This is episode 134. I'm your host, Migs, here with Charlie, my co-host. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm excited to be back. I'll tell everyone, I was like really sick. We was not able to record any episodes or make any content, but I'm good now.
Rough.
So,
but we're good. We're good. Yeah, we're still around. We're still here. But we have a pretty packed episode with some good stuff, some little bit of different topics that we don't usually talk about, and then obviously the stuff that we do like to talk about. We're going to bring back up, like I said in the intro, Funko has a bunch of stuff that was leaked and showing that's going to be coming soon. So obviously pops that are going to be coming out. Even Rokimoto's now jumping into that. Well, they're not really doing it, but people are leaking some of their,
which is exciting,
new lines, right? Yeah, which is cool and exciting, and we'll talk about what we think about those and kind of what they look like and everything. Thrilljoy, we spoke about them, in nauseum, obviously, all the time. We're talking about the stuff that they're coming out with. The new PIX line now is officially like in stores, getting into people's hands. So we'll talk a little bit about, kind of what we think about that line. And also Fanatics Fest. So we'll probably started with that. So Fanatics Fest, like I was saying in the intro, that kind of was the big thing this past weekend. For those of you that don't know, that takes place in New York City. Same Javits Center, which is usually where New York Comic Con takes place. So if you're used to going there, same kind of thing with that. However, this is like a big sports cards collectible type thing, essentially, right? So me and Charlie actually almost were gonna go one of the nights. So one of the days. This was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So they do a 3-day event. And just kind of want to give a little bit of input. It's all over our socials, all over the place. We're huge, obviously, V-Friends collectors and supporters, and V-Friends was huge there. They actually had a really big
It was huge.
setup
It was
there.
nice.
Like very, very big. And yeah, obviously a lot of athletes go, some celebrities, big name people. That a lot of it I feel like is either sports related or like card collecting. That's kind of like the bigger of the collectibles that you're gonna see there. And there was tons of V-Friends, like we were saying. Topps obviously is massive there. But there was a lot of cool stuff happening in terms of like people pulling crazy stuff, people selling things for ridiculous amounts of money. Like we were even talking before we started recording about some of those things. But I don't know, what were your thoughts kind of seeing this? Because I believe this is now what, the third year?
It's the second year.
Or second year? Okay, yeah. So still fairly new.
Well, it's funny how you said, like, we almost were going to go. And I'm still thinking, like, I don't regret not going this year. I do think next year, though, if we make a plan, probably, like, I'm curious how it's going to evolve, though, because, like, the one thing still that it's kind of a big advertisement, I feel like, for Fanatics. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but I wish it was more of a sports collectible show where, yes, like you said, it's there, but half of, like, once again, if you've been to the Javits Center where there's like tons of booths during New York Comic Con, probably 50% of it, or even up to 75% of it, is these ridiculous experiential things for sports. And not that that isn't cool, but I'm not necessarily someone at this point in my life who like wants to go and just be like, okay, there's a huge hockey rink. Let's see if I can, make the goal. Or they have like that you can walk into your own WWE like song.
Like coming out.
It's cool, but I feel like once my son is like super into sports, it's a great because I saw a lot of like father-son duos, it seemed like, online that went, where, not that you don't see that at Comic-Con, but it's a little different. Because they were probably definitely super excited, like, oh my god, I can go and on this basketball court and try to like shoot a real three. But what is cool is Michael Rubin, the owner of Fanatics, who puts this on. I mean, he's obviously friends with everyone and their mother, and he gets legit talent to come. And it's not, this is what I think, this is cooler than New York Comic Con, even though they're hired help, it doesn't necessarily feel like it. They're out in the trenches with the fans. They're like, Tom Brady and Eli Manning were doing this whole gimmick the entire time. Like, you know, they were showing their beef that they obviously have from their NFL days, but they were shooting like who could shoot more threes. They did their fake WWE entrance and were kind of fighting. Like, so that part was super cool. I think in a few years this is going to be massive, but it still seemed like it's a little under the radar, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's definitely because I remember hearing about it last year. We kind of spoke about it, but it was a little like last minute. And then I did also think I was like, oh, that's going to be a huge like way to get cards and trading cards and buying stuff or whatever. And then I did see a little bit more into it. And the same thing with this year, where it is really fan oriented for like experiences, which I think it is cool.
It's cool.
I just feel like it can be very overwhelming because, like for instance, I'm a huge UFC fan, so like they have a ring there, like the octagon, like you can actually go, and it was like an octagon, and I know that when UFC puts on a lot of their big events, like actually International Fight Week's coming up soon, which is like their Super Bowl, they do a lot of fan experiences and whatever. But like the fans are strictly going there for UFC. They do like the where you could punch the little bag things, you already hit it. You do all those things, but like that's all you're doing. But however, when you go here, like they have that, and then there's a basketball one, and there's even a Formula One section thing. Then there was, like you said, the hockey thing, and then there's a football. And there's this you could sprint and 40-yard dash, and it's like it seems like it's just so much different. Which I get it; they're trying to fit all the fandoms of sports in there. So in that case, like it is cool, but yeah, it seems like it's a little bit, it's a lot. But I guess if it was like a kid thing, like you said, bringing your kid or something like that, I think that's a perfect opportunity to like go and have fun because I'm assuming if you go to these, the lines are probably crazy to do some of these experiences. So it's like, are you going to spend like all time, like most of your day just trying to get to this one or two things? That's where I think, I mean, we haven't gone obviously. So if you have, like, definitely, I know there are some people that we follow and we know that have gone. And if you did, like, comment down below, like, let us know kind of your experience and kind of what you do like about it. If there is things that maybe we're just missing because we're not there. But it did seem like it was overwhelmingly packed with like talent, which is cool. That part, like you said, Michael Rubin's like the man. Like he's obviously super well known. Fanatics is obviously huge and massive now, and he I think he even said like in an interview like the amount of time and what he has to put into just this one event is like crazy because like
which
you
is
said,
cool
there's
that he's
so
involved.
many people that are involved like talent wise that are massive stars. We're not just talking about like unfortunately when you go to a Comic-Con you see people who start signing and they're like people who've been retired for like 30 years and they don't really matter, like that. You see that a lot.
The cream of the crop is
like we're seeing, I mean, Tom Brady, the fact that he's there is massive. Obviously Eli Manning, comedians like Kevin Hart is there, like
LeBron James was there.
LeBron James will show up. Kevin Durant was on today, like the last day.
And they're like pulling
and they're signing stuff left and right. They're opening stuff with people, which that is cool. So I think the experience would be, I would still love to go at some point just to be there, I guess, and just I was by this or I was by this person because they did a lot of like it's kind of crazy. I didn't even realize they even did the Canelo face off for the boxing fight that's going to be coming up with Terrence Crawford, and that face off was in one of those like rooms, I guess, where they usually do panels and stuff. And that was like that just happened. So that was like a face off of people, and they interviewed them, kind of like what they would do like a conference for a boxing fight. That was going on there, and I'm like, geez, they're like, there's just this stuff's just happening everywhere. But the stuff that like kind of I feel like we talk about a lot, I did want to just kind of mention and get your take on was like I was saying VeeFriends in the beginning. We knew they were going to be there. We knew they would have some kind of presence, obviously, but clearly they're a lot bigger than they used to be. They've been to other events and things and they put on stuff, but this was like massive. They had like a 2-floor thing where the
huge
second floor, like you couldn't really get up there unless like you were with Gary or someone famous,
the Rizzler,
like your boy Rizzler who's up there ripping packs, and like all these people are like they're recording left and right. Obviously it's content creator heaven at this point with the amount of stuff that's going on, but like they were selling boxes, they were selling stuff, so it was pretty crazy. Like it's getting pretty massive. I guess we've talked about this a lot amongst ourselves of like how big they are getting, and it's obviously what Gary wants. But it was kind of crazy to see them there and their presence that they had because it was pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty big. Obviously, they also have going for him the Tops connection, which,
Hmm.
Michael Rubin owns Tops now. So Fanatics that's all just under that umbrella, which is probably, I was shocked at how huge their booth was, like you said. Um, the only thing that kind of bothered me, and maybe I'm being a hypocrite because I do want V Friends to be huge, but they're totally, and have we joked, and you even pointed out in one of the pictures, it's like, come meet the breakers of like the people that would never have been said at any of the cons before that they've been at. Like they're really trying to get into like only the sports card culture world, which I don't necessarily agree with. I'm going to see how that pans out. Like I think V French Tops Chrome for the breakers right now is like a cool thing because it's hot and new. But the moment it's not, like most of those people aren't going to even care about V Friends until the next set comes out. Which, but I do like that they were there and they had exclusives, which is super cool. And they were sports themed. Like they had a breaker mat, they had a card holder, they had some
Yeah,
special pins. And they all were sports themed, which was super cool. Most of them were the pigeon, which is kind of cool also for New York. Which is just, it's funny because
yeah,
New York Comic Con is it too. But yeah, like it was cool to see their booth, especially seeing what it looked like last year at New York Comic Con. I mean, it's completely different vibe, like to the max.
yeah, yeah. It definitely seemed like it was very big. And we saw a lot of people go in there, a lot of celebrities and stuff too. But like, yeah, like I said, it's definitely if you want to see celebrities, you want to be around athletes, have potentially an opportunity to maybe take a picture or get an autograph, whatever, and you may not ever have another opportunity. This is definitely a huge place to do that. And if you have a huge wallet and you're okay with spending, this is definitely a place you can spend because the amount of stuff that they have that's really cool, whether it's like memorabilia or cards specifically, like the amount of stuff that was we were seeing, like was epic. And there was some pretty epic stuff being sold. Like I
Yeah.
hinted to that last time, but basically one of the big ones, and we were talking about it before we started recording, was a Jaden Daniels card being sold that a guy had for $500,000. The owner of the Commanders like bought it off him, and then they also had a signed Jaden jersey because he was there as well for the kid that sold it to him. And I was like, this is insane. And there was just like
Insane
even
stuff.
Livy Dunn, like did you see that one I sent you? She bought a Skeens card from
Yeah.
your boyfriend for like $2,800 or something.
Which is funny because
Crazy.
that whole video was funny because she knew her stuff.
Oh
And I
yeah,
feel like
yeah.
the
They were
guys were a little
surprised.
surprised.
They did
Yeah.
not think she would. Yeah, she definitely knew what she was like because they were trying to like get her over. Like, nah, we'll try to do this, and
Yeah,
she's
I
like, "Come on."
know.
So that was funny. But yeah, overall, it seemed like a pretty crazy experience. Obviously, it was for 3 days, and each day kind of had its own thing going on. But yeah, it seemed fun. If you did go, like I said, make sure you let us know down below if you did, and if you are looking forward to this. It looks like it's going to continue going forward as being one of these big events. I'm sure just keep getting bigger, and what they do with the stuff. But yeah, it definitely was something
It
that
is
we
funny.
kept our eye on on
One thing
social
I do
media.
want to add though too. So one of our boys, Funko Tech,
Hmm.
he so he went actually, and I talked to him a little bit about it, but I don't know if this really explains the event as a whole. But he obviously is really into V Friends as well, like we are. But he's a sports guy too.
Yeah.
But he kind of went. Did he? I know he went with a friend. They went. They kind of did their V Friend stuff. He had told me that his buddy was getting Jack Hughes's autograph, and then they like kind of left.
Okay.
So like I don't know what that says about were the lines ridiculous?
Yeah, I'm
Is it
assuming
really
that's
just that
probably
type
kind
of
of yeah.
stuff? Yeah, where like I don't feel like we would ever leave New York Comic Con even if the lines are too bad because you can just walk around
Yeah,
and
just
like
look at stuff
look
or
at
whatever.
everything.
There was
So like
also like I don't know if you knew about the like where people actually compete throughout all the events and they keep your
yeah.
score. So like that's like a thing you can I guess enter
Yeah, and
into.
then whoever wins like got a huge cash
Yeah,
prize.
yeah, which is kind of crazy. But that's like a cool thing. I guess it's like you do literally all different sports. You try to
Yes.
make a hockey shot, you try to make some basketball shots. Like it was just a crazy
I mean, I'm
mix.
pretty sure someone left with either a Ferrari or a Lamborghini that
That's
Michael
what it
Rubin.
was. Yeah, yeah. They gave away a car. Michael Rubin did to
It's
whoever
kind of
won, which
crazy.
was wild.
Yeah.
But
So
I
like
mean, that's kind of cool.
that is what's really and then we can end the Fanatics conversation. But that's another thing that just sets it apart. It's like it's very competition based, but I mean, obviously it's like winning the lottery, but some people left with some pretty ridiculous prizes.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
Which is cool
for sure. All right, so let's switch over. We'll leave both leaks stuff towards the end. We can switch over quickly to Thrilljoy because it's not too much, but we did want to just kind of touch on the fact that obviously the new PIX line is now officially out just a few days ago. You can find it in stores now. Hot Topic is carrying it, Box Lunch. They have the exclusive one, which is the Lord of the Rings one, is exclusive, which has like a sticker exclusively to Box Lunch Hot Topic, which I was kind of interesting to see that the sticker's got both on it.
Isn't it? I know. Is it a sticker too, or is it a box seal?
I thought it was a sticker. But
oh, you're right.
I know
you're
right.
No, that is a sticker. You're right.
But
Never
it's
mind.
both. It's got Hot Topic and Box Lunch together, which is kind of cool. But all the other ones obviously came out, to Leonardo, the Mojo Jojo, which we obviously talked about it our last episode, actually, because that's when it was being kind of like announced. The Gilman, Victor, Lion-O, He-Man, Joker, and Gizmo. I think those were all of them. And then the smaller Pixel, the Corpse Bride set, the Beetlejuice set, and the Turtle set. So all those are now, one, if you did like those pre-orders, because I think it was the 12th of June was when you could like technically pre-order, and then they only had a limited amount. Those have been sent out, so people are obviously getting those. They've been ripping them and, veiling the seal, tearing into the thrill, and veiling the seal, or something like that.
I'm gonna rip mine open when I get them.
Yeah, I know, and I haven't gotten any yet. Because I've been kind of on the fence of like if I want one of these yet, or if I'm gonna wait for something. Obviously, the Joker would be probably.
I feel like you need to get the Joker.
But I feel like it's something that I don't want to order. Like I want to just be at a mall or be at a store, and if I walk by and they have it, then it's meant to be.
Agreed.
I'll grab it. That's
I know. I like that idea. Yeah.
So, but yeah, they're out now. We've seen some people obviously that we follow in the community opening them up. We got some chases being pulled by some. No one that I've seen has gotten like a super chase yet. At least in the people that we like really follow.
Yeah.
I think one was pulled at some point.
Some people have pulled,
or actually the gold one. That's what it was. Yeah, one of the golds from the Corpse Bride, I think.
Yes.
Which the gold one in the pixels, if you don't remember, if you pull that, you can redeem it for like the big size mega picks, which haven't been announced like what they are specifically for the sets yet. But that's like a big one. And then obviously there's the 1-of-1 chase for the Lord of the Rings. Is it only Lord of the Rings that has it right now?
So far, I believe.
Yeah, the 1-of-1, where obviously if you're the only one to pull it, you get a all paid exclusive trip to New Zealand, which is
super cool. Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool. We liked that when we heard about it. Like it was a cool way to add something for the fans and everybody out there. But yeah, these are now getting into people's hands. And now that I see them and more people opening them and seeing what they look like they look even cooler, honestly. They're really, really, really good like product from Thrilljoy. Like compared to some of the other ones where it was kind of like a mixed bag, I think most people are really liking these. And we said it from the beginning, like I kind of wish this was what they did have started originally.
Yeah.
And maybe sprinkled in those other ones like as a side piece type of thing. But that's just kind of like what I think. But what are your thoughts?
No, I completely agree with you. I mean, I think they're cool. I definitely want to get the Joker one and the Leo one. I haven't gotten them yet, but I do want to get them. Funny thing is, like, I'll probably just go get them at Hot Topic, kind of like you said.
Yeah.
Also, even if you just were to get them from Hot Topic, I just find it funny. It's cheaper to get them from Hot Topic than it is from Thrilljoy's website. But yeah, like people in the community are talking about them. It looks like they're having fun with them. To me, it does seem a little bit like a community plant, like an industry plant. Sometimes they say in Hollywood, like they're kind of just telling these people in the community talk great about Thrilljoy. Like it seems manufactured buzz to me, if I'm being honest. Only time will tell if they do stand the test of time, because I do think they still have some. What's the word I'm looking for here? They still need to make up for some of their mistakes. I do think in the community, you know, they have their diehards. Like some people in the Thrilljoy community are so diehard that, I mean, quite frankly, I thought I was going to be one of those in the beginning, but like they don't care. Like Thrilljoy for life, which is cool that they have a community like that already. But I still think people may go in Hot Topic and be like, oh, these look cool, or oh, is that a new Funko product? Like, I'm good. Like, it's, you know what I mean? it's going to be interesting. I still think they need more momentum, and I'm hoping San Diego Comic Con is that for them.
Yeah. I mean, I think once obviously we get more lines down the line, I like that it's not like too overwhelming though right now, which we kind of said that we wanted them to
Yeah.
kind of take their time on like what they're coming out with at once. But I think it's a cool product, obviously, and I will say, obviously, I haven't had one and I ripped it, but I've seen people and what the gist that I'm getting, and that's why I'm kind of scared to get them, is that like I feel like you are gonna get that rush of like the good old days of ripping open a soda, for instance,
Yep.
where you don't know if it's a chase or not. It's got a nice little tear, which it's funny because not gonna lie, like that tear is obviously a big blind box thing, like the
Yeah.
Pop Marts of the world and Miniso and stuff, where you tear that on the top. Like it's so satisfying to tear a box rather than just like
Open it.
open a box,
Yep.
if that makes sense. And they put it on the back. It looks like a zipper. So they got that cool little like gimmick to it, but it does feel more exciting when you open one to see what it is. And the details on these are great. Like they look like really, 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 really well done figures, and they're not as bulky and big and stuff as the original set. So it kind of is more up the alley of what we're used to, because this is perfectly adjacent to a Funko Pop collector,
Yes.
essentially. And I think the more that they come out, there's probably some people, like you said, that still don't really know who they are. They're clearly still new. They've been around for a year, essentially. So, we're going to get more and more stuff. And like you said, I think it will kind of grow. I think they're doing things right now when it comes to like what they're releasing. I think this is kind of like their beginning of maybe them getting a little bit of momentum. And a con, I'm sure, will be big because that'll be like big announcements, maybe more excitement behind it. And there'll be like a lot of new stuff, I'm sure, coming out. But I do like these two new products for sure, and kind of like where they're going. Like I'm a little bit
You see a
more.
vision.
Yeah. I'm definitely feel like in the beginning we were kind of a mixed bag of like, is this good? Is this bad? And then like it was going down. And now I'm a little bit more on the positive end of like, okay, they're at least doing, whether they listen to us or people out there or not, or they just did it themselves, it's what we kind of wanted. So at least in
Exactly.
that sense, it's a good thing.
And it's a good
Um,
price point. I mean,
yeah,
19.99 for those
that's another thing.
figures.
Very, very good price point.
Yeah,
Sure.
and they also still come with the trading card. They don't come in like the MagSafe
Yeah.
anymore, but who cares? I mean, you get that
Mhm.
yourself if you really want it, which I like. And yeah, you keep them in the box. You can take them out of the box. It does look like you need to like take them like they're fastened in, which I find like that's an interesting concept
Oh,
because
okay.
I'm not sure how easy it is to put back in. If anyone has taken it out and pulling back in, let us know in the comments if it's easy or not. I would find that interesting because I don't know. Like when I get it, I kind of want to take it out, but at the same time, I mean, probably not because I don't
Yeah.
take out any of my Funko Pops.
Well, yeah, because the good thing is that like once you take that like initial cardboard out,
Yeah,
they have a window so they can sit in the box. You don't have to take them out, but if you wanted to, obviously you still could. But I think the box itself is done really well. Obviously, there was a lot put into that from Brian, but the box itself, the seals, like that whole part, like looks great. So like you want to kind of keep it in that to
exactly.
display it essentially. So it makes a little bit more sense. Obviously, the smaller pixels, the box doesn't matter as much, but they come kind of with a case. So in that case, you're gonna at least show them off in the cases or something. So, but yeah, I mean, we'll see kind of what happens with it going forward. I do know, and you touched on it a little bit, just kind of like a lot of hype was put behind this, especially with like content creators and people that were like pushing it, which it, I mean, it's kind of been their MO since the beginning. So, I mean, I'm
Yeah,
not like surprised by it, where it's like they have chosen to, which I mean, I won't fault them for it because we kind of did criticize Funko for not
not
doing that.
doing it. Yep.
So we do have to kind of we can't sit on the fence on both sides, right? So, like, I do think what they're doing makes sense because they want to push it out to us, and we see these content creators all the time, and it's going to make us excited, and we like a lot of them, or whatever it might be. It just kind of brings a little bit more community aspect to it, not just like a corporate side of like, oh, this is our product and whatever it is. So like that part of it's good. Like, are some of the people not doing the best, most exciting content? Like maybe not, but like there's people out there that we really like and support that are pretty big Thrilljoy fans, and I'm okay with them doing it because it's like whatever. I'm cool with them, you know. But I get what you're saying in a way. But I do have to say I can't fault them too much because it is literally what Funko was never. I mean, they did back in
No,
the
you're
day, but
totally
it
right.
took forever for them to ever get to that point.
I completely agree. I think I meant it more. It was like they went from 0 to like 1,000 on drop day, where I feel like they should have had a few people
Yeah.
do it and called it a day.
Yeah, I mean they go crazy. I mean they drop stuff and whatnot. Obviously, it was a completely different way of doing these
Yes,
drops, so that was
completely different. I
for
mean, they had
sure.
pre-orders,
Yeah.
which kind of had the hype go a little bit. Then, obviously, just last week was when it was the full launch. But I also
Hmm.
do like one thing that I do give them credit for too, which I appreciate. It's like they said these launched on, and they were in stores. It
Yeah, yeah.
wasn't like
Hmm.
there's been times where, even Funko's like, okay, this is the day this is coming out. You go to a store, like it's nowhere to be found.
Yeah,
So I think it's exciting they're actually in retail.
yeah. Yeah, it's good to know that all the ones they announced were legitimately like they had struggles with that in the beginning where they announced a lot of stuff and then some stuff wasn't coming out and we were having
Yes,
issues with the megapix, for instance, and stuff. So at least they were right about what they actually have coming out, which is the right way to do it. And like
exactly.
I said, I'd rather them do a little bit smaller and just have them actually fully be, out and more successful than just say promises of 100 different things and we only get 10. So let us know what you guys think on the Thrilljoy side of things. If you guys grabbed any of these and have been ripping them at all, did you get any chases, super chases? Like, definitely let us know in the comments. If you haven't already, like this video as well. Subscribe to the channel if we earned a subscription. If you aren't subscribed already, welcome to Collector Chatter. Hopefully you are. And we'll switch over to some leak stuff. So we're going to talk about,
Wait,
we talked
real
about this
quick.
a lot. Yeah, go ahead.
As I'm looking at something, someone just posted the 96 piece
Oh, so someone did get
Krang
one.
from the TMNT just sold on eBay for $750.
Jeez, so someone did pull one
Someone
in
pulled
then.
it.
Well, that gives you
I mean,
a
there you go.
number of where you're looking at and how popular it's going to be. I mean, especially initially, that's definitely when the hype is up. And then usually with everything, the hype will be there. It might die down. It might come back up again later if it ends up being like really, really sought after. But yeah, right now is like the time to, if you're going to pull something, it's good.
Do it.
The prices are going to
I
go
just had
up.
to throw that out there because I'm like, that's
Yeah.
pretty wild.
No, it is. That is actually really, really cool to see that we're actually getting. There's, I think, like 3 different ones that have like a super chase option, if I'm not mistaken, 2 or 3.
Yeah, which is cool.
Actually,
I like to
which is actually
that.
cool that they're doing that, and they're done really well. Like they're good chases, It's not
And it
anything.
seems like people are buying these though too, kind of how you mentioned before, which I know why you're probably a little afraid. You don't want your soda addiction to come back, but people are buying multiple of them.
Yeah, of course.
So
I mean, everything's about the thrill of a chase. Like that's been since the beginning of collecting sodas and Funko Pops. Even sometimes when they had chase options, it was like that was the big thing. But and the price point makes you like a little
yes,
easier
no,
to be
totally.
okay with grabbing them.
All right.
Let's switch it up to some stuff that has kind of coming out. I want to start off with the Rokimoto one because this is the one that when we saw some of these, it was kind of crazy because Rokimoto themselves did announce both of these lines that we now are officially see, not officially because we're seeing them from different sites.
Yeah.
Rokimoto hasn't said anything yet. But one of them is the Peanuts. What they say Peanuts, right? But it's really Snoopy, or did they announce it as
No,
Snoopy?
they announced the Peanuts license.
As Peanuts, right? But we
Yep.
knew like Snoopy was potentially
they
going to
kind of
be
showed off Snoopy.
Going to be some of the stuff, and then the second one was Godzilla, which was the one that they like announced towards the end, where it was like we're also going to get like a Godzilla.
And they showed
wave.
an image, yeah,
and that was it. Yeah, it's just like the title,
nothing
Godzilla.
of a figure, yeah.
But we'll start with the Peanuts stuff. So obviously, Snoopy is going to be coming to Rokimoto. So what's interesting about this is one is and one isn't. But remember when I was talking about like when they do these
Yes.
IPs, like are there going to be these noodle things? It's going to be the same. Like are they just going to be in
like
that IP? Yeah. So when we start seeing what Snoopy's going to be, it's literally that we're getting Snoopy sitting down eating a bowl of ramen. Like it's going to come in the from what we see now, Rokimoto stuff is gonna all be in those noodle cups, even the Godzilla one, which we'll get into. But the Snoopy one, pretty much all of them, I'm not mistaken, yeah, all have like a noodle based thing, and there's
It looks
obviously
like
there's
it looks
different
like all of them
versions.
are. Yeah.
But I don't know. What are your thoughts? I mean, you can run through them too to kind of say which ones are going to be. But what
Yeah,
are your
I
thoughts on the Snoopy
mean,
stuff?
so I kind of like it. It's I think it makes it look different than any other Snoopy figures we're getting, and we're for people who aren't aware, like we're getting Peanuts like merch at the wazoo. It's a huge anniversary, so they've
Okay.
been like letting that license like go like crazy. I mean, even Pop Mart just got a new one, but I mean, I'm not like a Peanuts connoisseur here, but it looks like we're getting a Snoopy like when he has like his camping gear on. We have Joe Cool. Snoopy as a pilot. Snoopy as an astronaut, and then one it just looks like it's just plain Snoopy. And then we're getting what looks like in these images, kind of a translucent, clear, like all blue Snoopy, and one that's
Yeah.
red. And then we're getting a Woodstock one, which is the only character that is deviating from being Snoopy. So once again, these is leaks, and I'm not 100% sure. I don't know how you took this, Migs. Like in this image is like one the common, and then the next one's a surprise, or is this
Yeah. I
just
mean,
completely random of the figures we're gonna get?
it was tough to like see because obviously they look like because they're side by side
Yeah,
where they would be like a common, and then the surprise one would be the one that's to the side, which is like a little different. So I guess that, and if that's the case, like one of them is a Snoopy, and then Woodstock would be a surprise. So I guess that's kind of cool.
cool.
So if that's the way, again, none of this is like official. Like Rokimoto hasn't showed us yet. We don't know like what the cups are gonna look like exactly. So this is just kind of like people out there already finding stuff and posting leaks, pictures, and etc. So yeah, I mean, I thought that there's potentially was going to be like I didn't know what to think because we spoke about how I was surprised that Snoopy was even talked about, but then again, it is a big thing in like in the Asian community
Yeah,
and
it's
like
huge.
even in like you said in Pop Mart, like right now, last time I went actually, which was maybe a month ago or so, they had like a whole section of just Snoopy stuff. And even my sister in law is like a big Snoopy fan and Woodstock and stuff. And we got her like something like a little bag or something because they had a bunch of stuff there. And I was like, wow, they really do like that. So it makes sense that, I guess Rocky Mountain stuff is going to be at, not Pop Mart, Miniso, sorry. It's going to
Yeah.
be at Miniso. So they're going to, it's going to fit right in because they had a whole section. So yeah, in that case, it's like whatever. I'm not like the biggest fan. It's like it is what it is. But these are cool. I think they will sell. They will be popular,
Yes.
especially like Rokimoto really knew what they were doing, putting their stuff in specifically like mini cells because they know those people. They know what customers that go there. They know what they like, and they're fitting exactly that. So it's like they don't have to worry about just like randomly being put in like a Target or a Walmart where like anybody can walk by these and have no idea what it is or no
It's
like you're walking
so
into a mini
true.
so you know exactly what you're getting. You're just
And people
getting
go
whatever
crazy over
IP or whatever.
everything.
Yeah, whatever you feel like you want to grab that time, whatever it is, right? So like that was very smart of them. At first I was like, why would they do that? Why is it only there? That's like kind of dumb. But in reality, I think it's actually super smart. So yeah, this will be just another wave that we'll see that hopefully and I think will be pretty successful for them.
And one thing Snoopy's doing though, he got the slurp on all of them.
Yeah. I did see that too.
So
Which
like
is funny.
that's gonna be key in even what we talk about next. Like that seems to be the defining feature of these figures, maybe
Mm-hmm.
even over the ramen bowl.
Yeah,
So
it's true. So yeah, let us know what you guys think. Are you guys excited for that one? The Snoopy ones that are going to be coming out. Hopefully, we'll get more official stuff coming out. But then the next one, this is like really, really leak because these are like kind of like concept art, I guess you can say,
yeah.
because it literally just pictures of these, and then the cup. I mean, the cup. If that's exactly what the cup looks like. It's sick out of this world. At least one of them, if not all of them, will look like this. But this is all Godzilla, of course. So, we heard about this, and this one is a little different. This you're not getting, according if this is right. Again, this is all allegedly, this is all leaks. But if this is what comes out, these are not eating ramen, which would be weird to see Godzilla doing that. But it is in the cup, so it still is in the
Yep.
same ramen cup. The lettering, the style, everything's the same, just different color, which I think is cool. That look black and white cup. But then we're getting like different versions of Godzilla. So like a pretty normal looking one, then like a one that looks a little different in color. We got the mecha like
Yeah.
robotic looking one. We got
Grayscale
like a
one.
3-headed version or something, and then like
We're getting
like
some
an
of his
old
monster
grayscale.
enemies. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say the one of them looks like a dragon kind of, so I guess he must be like something that it goes against. It's just funny because one of like if you're looking at the same picture, the bottom middle, like it's like badass Godzilla.
Yeah.
Then the bottom right is like baby Godzilla, like it's just baby
I-
cartoon. So it's like if that's what they look like, it is kind of funny because again, different, obviously there's so many versions of
Yeah.
Godzilla and different movies and like you said, villains and stuff. So but they're all with the tongue out. At least just one that doesn't, that one in the middle and the top. But all the other ones have the tongue to the side. So I was like, that must be like a real thing. But again, we don't know. Could just be concept art, somebody just making up what they think it is. But if
Which
it
is so
is what it
true.
looks like, it is kind of cool. But I guess we'll know more. The actual cup though looks pretty legit. So I don't know. What are your thoughts? I mean,
I
to
mean,
me, this is a pretty cool set.
I
If
think
it's
these are
real.
awesome. I love these. I love the look of them. I'm totally into the blind box these days. I think these are cool. It looks like they're branching out. Because we always were wondering, like, what was going to the Godzilla ones going to be like? Would they be like Leo with his head poking out and it looked like he was just wearing like
Oh yeah, yeah,
Godzilla?
yeah.
Like, I think these are cool when it shows that they're going to evolve and they're not just going, even though that's still obviously Asian inspired. Big things part of their culture. It's not just going to be, the characters that, Mike, Dave, and Tina have created, which I personally love. But I think this is going to become more and more mass appealed as well, not just niche.
Yeah.
And the one thing, it's crazy. Like, I know people don't always like say, oh, you don't have to compare them, but I'm sorry, I'm always going to. Between Funko, Thrilljoy, and Rokimoto, if I was told right now, like, I could only collect one of those brands going in the future, I would pick Rokimoto.
No.
Maybe that's a bold statement, but
I
they're
mean, no, they're
still
cheaper.
they're cheaper, they're
They're
fun. My kids
easy
like
to, yeah.
them, and they still to this day, like, once again, they just excite me. Like, I go on my socials like wanting them to post.
Mhm.
I know I've mentioned this before, but like, I don't really care about the other brands anymore. They come up in my feed. I'll obviously check them out, but I'm not going onto their account being like, oh, did they post something new today? I obviously still love collecting in general, and I still love Funko. I love Thrilljoy. I'm still going to get their products, but there's just something about Rokimoto. Like, I feel like they're just doing everything right. Like, I don't want to jinx them. I'm knocking on wood for them right now, but like, every beat that they've done so far has just been perfect in my opinion,
Yeah.
and this
No,
just
they're
adds
definitely
to it.
doing things the right way. We said that from the beginning. The way they presented themselves, their social media is fantastic. The products they're coming out with have all been great. And yeah, this is just another example of this. And again, if this is real or not, because we don't really know. Because the only thing that's kind of like the reason why I said like concept art, obviously, because it looks kind of drawn. It's like okay, this might be what it is. But the only reason why I don't know, like besides obviously Rakamoto not saying this is what it is because it doesn't seem like any of these would make sense in a common surprise slash chase combo.
Yep,
So it's like, are these 6 that are going to be coming out and there's like surprise versions of these 6 that would probably make the most sense and we just don't know what they look like yet? Or is like one of these like a chase of the other one? Like it's going to be kind of interesting to see. And then some of these are a little big, like the one with the 3 heads. It's pretty big for their products and for that cup. So I'm hoping these are pretty real because they
me
look
too.
cool. At least this idea. I mean, it's good. We're gonna get some type of Godzilla thing. They already did say that, but it would the fact that we know Snoopy ones are Snoopy does open it up to like when it comes to these big IPs, it's probably going to be just those characters. It's not going to be the Leo as them. Like I think they're going to stick to those being Leo's going to be a lot, Baba's going to be in a lot. They're always going to have a bunch of different versions of those as like, different characters of them. And then obviously the what's it called? The like original characters.
Oh yeah, like Kit the Axolotl.
Yeah, like we're obviously going to have original characters. And then like those will keep going forward. And so I guess we'll see.
It's a good mixture of everything,
My
and it's
headphones
not.
just died out.
Oh, nah.
Give me a
it's just a
second to see
good.
if I can. I
Yeah,
can't hear you.
I'll keep talking. But it's good. It's a good mixture of everything. Obviously, that Rokimoto has been giving us, as Mings was saying, original characters, IP based characters. It's going to be cool when they can mash them both up. But I also think we're going to keep getting new characters. And one thing that I've also loved that they've done is, we've even said they kind of have teased other characters within on the cups. Like I know there's that one hamster character we always talk about that hasn't been announced yet, but it's coming. And another cool thing too that they just were showing was more merch is going to be coming along down the road, like some sweatshirts and some t-shirts, because they've only really had that one that they announced at their big unveiling in New York City, and then I think they had another one with Fluffy. But it looks like they may start be coming out with ones that aren't just limited to these events, which I think is cool. And once again, they're slowly creeping and they're just like expanding this brand. It wasn't just a huge dump on everyone, which I like.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see kind of like what they do in terms of like going forward. But this is like a really cool, at least for now, because it's not official, like a
Yep.
cool looking route. But I guess we'll see what goes, what goes happening forward, whether they're going to continue to have a bunch of different IPs and stuff. I don't want them to go too crazy because I do like the original side
Agreed.
of thing.
Which I think Mike loves too. So I think we're good there.
Yeah. So we'll see. But yeah, that's the Rokimoto side of things as far as like the leaks. And then we did want to get into some Funko, not too much stuff, but just a couple that are going to be at least announced. We've pretty much every time we get one of these like quote unquote leak announcements, they officially come out.
Yeah.
So it's a bunch of different waves again of some new lines that we're going to get that, Funko's still pumping out stuff left and right. And then we'll talk about a little bit about the box at the end that's going to be coming out for their event. But I don't know if there was something off the top of, your head, the first thing maybe that like kind of got you excited for these. There's only a couple that I was kind of like, all right, that's kind of nice to talk about. But what's something that kind of stuck out to you?
Yeah, I mean, one that I thought was super cool, which I know you don't like, but maybe you'll get some biddies, is the NFL biddies. But I like that they're coming in just like a football. They're individual ones, it seems. I'm sure we're going to get other ones down the line. But
Yeah.
one thing I really do like about these is, if you want to collect sports stuff, I think these are cool because they don't take up a lot of space. You can get a bunch of different teams. You don't necessarily feel like, oh man, I just got so and so and he's already not on that team anymore. I think these are cool. I also think they're a good fun thing if someone is into sports, who you can kind of bring them over into the world, and it's just like, oh, here, check this out, put it on your desk type thing.
Yeah.
I think it's going to bring the biddies to they're going to try, to be successful, but we always joke like, are these just for kids? I know Migs doesn't really love them, but it's kind of like this is another avenue of maybe where it could become a little more spread throughout the community and age groups.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I like the mystery aspect of it. Obviously, they're not doing the little boxes anymore. Well, at least for this set, we're gonna get them more on like you bag them and see if you get like a cool one. So I like that. Speaking of football, there is like a full blown football like actual wave coming out of normal size pops. like Brock Purdy, Puka Nakua, Jordan Love, Max Crosby, TJ Watt, and CJ Stroud and Debo Samuel. So it's a little bit of a mix. Interesting with Debo Samuel on, because this is the first time they've actually kind of done this. When we talk about them, I don't know if you noticed this, criticize them all the time, but he just got traded to that team and they're
Yeah,
making a Funko Pop of him. And usually it's the other way around. Like there would have
round,
been a 49ers Debo Samuel coming
which
out,
is kind of
even though
wild. I
he just
didn't
got
wasn't even
traded.
thinking of that.
Yeah. So
So
that's kind
good
of
for them
interesting.
on that.
Yeah. But it's a good set. I think, the sports pops have always said are some of the best ones that are kind of overlooked. Speaking of like Fanatics Fest that we were talking about earlier, like these are perfect for that type of event, getting stuff signed and whatever. But yeah, we're gonna get some more of those. We have a ton, obviously, but at least we're getting some new ones kind of mixed in with some other second versions or third versions of a certain player.
So I'm gonna keep this on the sports thing because I actually was super pumped when this was announced. I went immediately to Funko.com to start making it, and I'm like, oh, this is trash again. The MLB Pop Yourself,
Oh,
dude. Okay, they still don't have a hat option and of any sport. Like,
oh yeah.
dude, like I'd rather be able to get a Mets hat than have anything else in terms of that get up. And it could have been like a sports one. And then like the Mets, like they're giving people jerseys, but like the Mets one, it's white and it says Mets across it. The Mets don't wear a white jersey completely that's plain.
Yeah, it's
It has
it's the
pinstripes on it.
basic thing again. Was it gray or
Exactly.
white like
Like
they did with
it's
football?
not people don't want that. Like I'm telling you, Funko, I know you don't listen to our podcast, but like the idea is there, and I do understand it's probably harder to make it look a little bit better. But like I feel like if you can't perfect it, don't do it at all because any real sports fan isn't going to want that. Like, do you agree?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
we said it before. Like this is the like what was it? Football, I think is. Did they even do
The football,
basketball? I
but at
think actually.
least there they didn't do jerseys. Like I think this is worse. Like it's like they want it to be a jersey, but they're not the right jerseys.
Yeah.
You
No,
know
I
what I
mean this
mean?
is. Yeah, I agree. This is worse, but it's just like the proof that it's like they don't really know what they're doing, and it's just like they do, but they're like showing like they're like and it's not even that they're limited because I feel like the quote unquote like um license is the logo. Like that's probably what's
Yeah.
hard to get is the licensing of the logo or MLB in general, right? And like the box is cool, it looks like a
The
baseball, like
box is
whatever,
sick.
but like make it like yeah, get hats. It's baseball. Like they literally wear hats. Their uniform
Like
of
you
all
have
of them.
to
At least
wear a
football,
hat.
you're like, well, you don't have to put a helmet on there, but like baseball wears hats. Like get a hat. And then even like you said, if it's a shirt or whatever, like they should have some. It should be more realistic, but they're just. It's just like their way of just being like, well, we have this option. You can, if you like baseball, you could just slap a logo on a T-shirt or
Yeah. And
you
some
know,
people, you're right, maybe don't even care. And I'm being really nitpicky, but I'm like,
and
I'm
they're
not
probably
going to
like
spend my
expensive
money on
anyways,
it.
like all the other pop yourselves.
Yeah. So it's just like, I don't know. I'd rather just get my head and rip it off and put it on another Funko Pop. It'll probably be
Yeah,
cheaper.
I know, which we've seen some people do.
Like it's just a bummer because like I want it. Like once again, how I said earlier, haven't necessarily been excited by much that they've been posting. And I saw this, I was pretty excited. And instead of being, oh, this isn't going to be good, I gave them the benefit of the doubt, went straight there to try to make one and see what it would look like. And I was like, yeah, no. And I stopped halfway through, especially when I was like, there's no hat option. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and another one that I kind of wanted to talk about in a funny way is we're getting two more Star Wars lights and sounds pops, which we've had these in the past, and they they obviously light up and make some kind of lightsaber sound or something, right? That fits. We literally have a Darth Vader one. We have a 10-inch Darth Vader one actually, because I actually
Hmm.
have it. Um, so now, because we talk about this all the time, but we're getting another Darth Vader pop. You know, we always laugh about how like we don't have enough Darth Vader pops. So we're getting another one of him, and we're getting Ahsoka. They're the two that are being announced. But what I find hilarious is, and we both, I think, are on the same page with this, is that obviously getting it as a light sounds is whatever. It's probably we don't need this. You know, the Vader one literally looks like so many of the other ones. But it's the box. The box is what's funny. So the box obviously changes up a little bit, where they have now like like a square rectangle going across saying that it's lights and sounds and obviously different languages across the top of the box. Now it's no longer, I think it was a sticker, like a small square sticker
Yeah,
in the past, I believe.
I'm trying to
But the
remember. I
box on
don't.
the bottom, the fact that it shows that there's two AAA batteries included, which obviously, okay, that makes sense. You're gonna put it on there somewhere, whatever. But the fact that it's plastered across the bottom and the front of the box, like is, and you said this perfectly before, it's screaming like Hasbro. Like it's screaming that this is like
A toy.
a toy, not a collectible, which Funko will say this all the time. Sometimes they make it seem like, oh, it's collectible. Sometimes they make it seem like a toy. You can't take it out of the box. They've been so back and forth with that. But this is like strictly basically telling you this is a toy that you're gonna pull out, lights up, sounds, get it with a kid, throw the box away, whatever. But I don't know. What do you think? This looks
I think
ridiculous.
it's ridiculous. I think it's a joke. The moment I saw this, my eyes directly were like glued to that. I was like, this can't be real. Um,
Yeah.
well, I mean, once again, too, it's like, it's funny though. These aren't toys. Like, I actually got one of these for my son like a year ago, and
Mhm.
it's still like not like it's not meant for kids. It's still not like, they want it to be like an action figure. It broke instantly. So it's definitely, I guess, like a cooler desk piece for more adults that you can just leave out. Like, I do have the original Vader one, but you said it perfectly. They're a roller coaster of like, what are these? Are they toys? Are they collectibles? In the box, out of the box? Quite frankly, I don't even think they should put any effort in making this box. And if they want you to pull it out, just like kind of slap in a thing where you don't even see what's inside, like an actual
Mhm.
toy, and take it out. And then, yeah, like you said, you throw it out. I'm also just a little shocked that, like, you go back, for everyone's listening, if you are new, if you go watch some of our older episodes, me and Migs were always about Funko innovating and making new things. But sometimes, like, you gotta admit defeat, which I'll go throw Thrilljoy that, flowers. They admitted defeat kind of with their original PIX line. They pivoted because they wanted to not, fall apart. And I can't say enough how I love what they've done. These were some of the lines that were being shown in the Marshalls and Rosses of the worlds. They
Yeah.
couldn't give them away. And we're still
Yeah,
making
they're
these.
not selling.
And now we're at a point where, like, we can't make the excuse anymore that, like, this was in production, this, we need to wait to see what the new plan is with the less. You remember we were joking at the beginning of, like, last year, like, new SKU, like,
Yeah,
there are going
yeah,
to be
yeah.
less SKUs. Like,
Less.
this just, dude, that plan clearly went out the window. Um, yeah, we don't need to keep talking about this. And I'm a huge Star Wars fan, as everyone knows. Like, no.
Yeah. I mean, what I think is funny, like people in the comments are saying this a lot, is that it's like, is this going to be like the old ones where it's like, oh, it's a lightsaber sound and a little bit of breathing? Like, that's kind of cheesy. Like, why don't they have like sayings? Like,
Yeah,
why aren't they saying like a line, even if it's only a couple and small couple
exactly.
words, whatever? Like, that's what this should be, because at least it would be more exciting. Most likely, it's probably not, because they've never done it in the past, and it's probably just another. It's just, I don't know. It's just weird. And
It's
again, they've
weird.
had Vader ones. Like, I just don't understand why they're even doing another one. Just
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and then to go
I don't know.
to go into what are they doing? Oh, we were getting a Peacemaker pop moment deluxe
Yeah, I
of
thought those things were done.
yeah, like that's another thing. I did like these at the time. I was brainwashed to thinking they were cool. And you know, if you are a huge fan of something and you want to get, a handful hang up on a wall, I think that's super cool. But this one, like, I'm shocked they're still making them. And it's kind of ironic because I actually do think this one is super cool. I actually really think it's one of the better ones they've made. For people who haven't watched Peacemaker, like, this is from the opening credits of that show, which is iconic. But what's even more comical is, like, they're definitely dropping this now because the new season's coming out. But one thing James Gunn has said is it's going to have a completely new intro and new opening. So this is truly like a season 1 now moment Funko Pop.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, is this too late? If
It's too
anything,
late,
too.
exactly.
Not let alone that the fact that it's a giant
If
moment
this
thing, which
came
we don't
out
think they need.
like in the appropriate amount of time that it would to have made a product after something came out, I have no problems admitting I would have bought this because I was obsessed with that opening credits for that show for a long time. I think it's like one of the funniest things ever.
Yeah.
It actually got me to like be obsessed with John Cena. And even I am like, yeah, this is cool, but I would never buy it. And this is probably also going to be another one that, hey, if you do want it, don't buy it when it first comes out. You'll get it on Amazon for like nothing in a few months.
So one thing I wanted to point out, and I don't know if it's just because it's, like a glam shot and it might not be what the real one ends up being, but this is obviously like in the corner, you see it's a deluxe pop moment. Wasn't it like moment, deluxe movie moment, or like wasn't it named differently? And the only reason why I'm saying that is because if you notice, this is showing as number 1.
Good call.
And
Yeah.
normally the number matches a set regardless of, or like, what type of pop, whatever it is. And it's just interesting because is this like a different, bigger pop? Like, is it not as big as those ones that we're
As we
thinking?
think.
You know, like it looks like
Interesting.
it's still going to be big, but maybe
I'm
it's
like,
not. Maybe it's just the picture, and we were just thinking it's the massive one. I don't know. It's gonna be weird when we see this like actually come out and see if it's maybe not. Maybe it's the size of like the comic one, but like sideways. Like laying
which would be
down.
interesting, which would completely,
The number 1 is what's throwing me off.
yeah, that's a good eye makes. Trying to like look up one now. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a way to know.
Because I know they just came with a Back to the Future one not that long ago.
They did one?
Yeah, hold on. I think I just found one. Let's see what the box says. Okay. So Beauty and the Beast one. Please show me the box. No, that's not right. Yeah, I mean, regardless, I think let us know in the comments what you think about this, but I think Megs, what you just pointed out is definitely interesting. Maybe it won't be as big. And then
Yeah.
we eat
I don't
our
know. But let us
words.
know if you guys know a little bit more. Because again, this is just kind of like the first, like a glam shot that's coming out. But let's see, another one. This is like a single pop that I just thought was pretty cool. Is the Mr. Monopoly, like the Monopoly Man. We do have one, I think, of him, but I like what they did here. I like that it's him on the board, like him walking, obviously, which makes sense. And it's cool that it's like it's a retro toys line, but this kind of makes sense. Like it's not just a guy, you're getting a little bit of the board game, quote unquote, as well. Like I think they should have done this with more other board
Yeah.
game like mascot type things, like retro toys. So yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool one.
I mean, another one that I thought, they're cool because I think these are kind of hit their fandoms and you can be like, I get this Funko Pop and then we're good. They came out more like Disney Channel original show ones. They came out with the Sweet Life of Zach and Cody and then the Wizard of Waverly Place. They came out with the 3 main characters of that and then the one double pop of Zach and Cody. I think those are cool. Because they definitely have a fan, and they're, you know, we're not getting tons of collectible merchandise of stuff like this.
Yeah.
So that's where I always appreciate when Funko does this. Hey, and they may become shelf warmers because there aren't many people who want them, but you're probably going to make X amount of people happy.
Yeah. It'll see. I think what's funny is I feel like we spoke about this rumor months ago
We did.
because I remember talking about the Zach and Cody one and specifically being like they're twins. Like, what's that box going to be? But then when you look at it, they each have their hair parted the opposite
Differently.
way. So it's like, I guess you can tell the difference, I guess. But I just seeing them now just made me think of like a list at some point that we were like, because I think you specifically said like, oh, the Disney shows. That's cool that we're getting Disney shows, but we never actually got them. And
You're
now
right.
is when we're getting them. But that one I just remembered being like, oh, how are they gonna do that with the twins? But yeah,
Even though the
that's
Selena
what we're gonna get.
Gomez one does not look like Selena Gomez at all.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Still.
Then we're getting some Simpsons pops. So obviously big show there. But it's a little bit of a mixture. We're getting a Homer, a Marge with Maggie, a Mr. Burns. We're getting Lisa with Snowball, and then a Krusty with Mr. Teeny. So that's pretty cool. The Krusty one looks cool. But then we're getting a Bart, which looks like it's going to be an exclusive because it has that new exclusive sticker, and it's him like saying "Eat my shorts" like with a little speech bubble. Which now we have a few pops that are like that. The speech bubble thing, I don't know. I remember when it first came out, we were kind of like, oh, it's kind of cool, like a thing. But the more I see it, the more I'm like, don't do it at all, or make it a lights and sound. And he says it, something like that.
I mean, that would be the good compromise. I mean, I don't like them at all, but for whatever reason, this one I don't mind. It's kind of funny, and it
Yeah,
fits
I
like
mean, it's a funny line too.
it also fits like how do I say this? It looks good on The Simpsons, but like the Star Wars ones look dumb. I mean, because it's an animated show.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
just
exactly. That makes sense.
it's just like the Bart one looks kind of cool. It's funny, like this line definitely feels like this is the reboot of the Simpsons line for Funko,
Yeah, because
which
they
is
have like
kind of
OG
cool.
ones, right?
Yeah, there's OG ones, and I could be wrong, but I feel like this is like the first set line where it's like, since Disney's like really owned the Simpsons, and they've like, I mean, we've had product, we've had the biddies. There's definitely been
Yeah,
special con ones here and there, but I could be wrong. Let us know in the comments. I think this is the first like big, huge line. It's obvious that they're starting off with all the major characters. Like, I feel like if you want to get someone a Simpsons pop, like these are cool. They're really detailed, which I do like.
yeah.
Another ones that came out that I was kind of excited for. I mean, I'm not going to get them in my collection, but the Beast Wars ones. We have tons of Transformers Funko Pops, so they've never. I don't think they've ever made Beast Wars ones before. So I think these are cool to go along with that's just the overall Transformers line, and you'll definitely make a Transformers collector happy with these.
Yep. Yeah. Then we also have a Batman Beyond line, which is just kind of interesting because we usually only get like a Batman Beyond, like just the Batman, which will come out. And obviously, we had a while back that one that had the clear like chase, and obviously those weren't really selling well because we started seeing them at like Marshalls and stuff, and they were just like all over the place. But now we're getting like an armored Bruce, which obviously is the Bruce character, and then Terry McGinnis, who's like Batman Beyond younger Batman character. We're getting two of him, which is like a normal version of him masked, and then the chase is going to be him unmasked. Which when they do that, usually I don't mind that too much. It's obviously the same mold. Actually, no, it's a different mold because he's not
It's
holding.
cool.
Yeah, he's not holding the little like battery thing.
Batwing. Yeah.
And then we're getting like a villain, Blight, which this one glows in the dark. Obviously, just the look of him fits a glow in the dark. So I mean, they all kind of make sense. But yeah, just a kind of random wave of Batman Beyond. But we're getting a few there.
I thought it was pretty random, but it's cool. I mean, we got a few more Dragon Ball Z I
Yeah,
feel like
talking about
GT pops,
GT.
which are cool. I mean, they're pumping those. I mean, nothing else is really, we got some World of Warcraft ones, which I guess are cool. Nothing's really like jumping out at me though.
Yeah, I don't
I
know
feel the
nothing
same
about
for
that.
you.
There's a chase
Yeah.
in that too. So yeah, nothing. The only other one that was like kind of interesting was because I think we did talk about this on like I said, this list must have been a while ago that we spoke about randomly, and now we're actually getting them. The Dia de los Muertos ones. So we're
Oh
getting
yeah.
La Catrina, which is azul, and then a Cholo, which is Alebrije, which is like the spiritual like dog, and like obviously he's in all the paint and the sugar skull kind of stuff. It's same
They're
thing
cool. They're cool.
with the girl one. Yeah, but they're cool. The boxes are cool. So I think we've gotten maybe other ones in
We
this
have.
line.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like this is kind of like an extension to that. So a few of those. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's anything else that kind of really popped out. Oh, actually, this is interesting. I forgot we didn't talk about these two. So there is a new Franny and Proto. Did you see
Oh
those
yeah.
for the fun days?
Yes. Yes, I
Which is
did.
a good transition because we didn't want to talk about the fun days box. Um, but this is online. So the box of fun online exclusive pops. So these, I guess, can be in the box, which we kind
That's
of
the way it sounds. Yeah.
talked about, like, is there going to be Franny's, like all this kind of stuff. So we're getting a proto of him like saying I love cons. He's got a bag on, he's got like glasses, and then we're getting Franny where it says fanatic. So it's like the two of them are basically going to a convention essentially, which
But
is
it's
a
not at a
cool
convention.
yeah. Which is kind of cool that we're getting like at least like a little bit of a mix. But um yeah, I don't know. They're like
They're cool.
the
I
proto
like
with the
them.
glasses is pretty cool.
I mean, I am not gonna sit here and say I wouldn't like these in my collection. Like
No.
they are cool. I just think it's funny that they're pretending that this is the Comic-Con event during the
Yeah.
Comic-Con weekend, but it's just not. Just everything about this, dude. Do you remember like a few years ago, someone said that they, had this real life Willy Wonka, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory experience, and then people went and it was like the most janky, like fake, like Fry Festival type thing. Did you ever read about that? So people are saying, "Oh, that's what's going to happen for the fundraising experience."
Jeez.
Like it's already gotten like terrible buzz. I don't
Yeah.
think no one's really excited about it unless you're, just one of those people who just don't ever want to say anything negative, which I'm cool with. Like, I wish, we all need more positivity in the world here, but it's just, I really think Funko should have just not had this event this year.
Yeah. I'm like torn because it's like at least we're getting a box. Maybe the box will have some cool stuff.
I thought they just had a box at
But the event, yeah, it should have
San
just
Diego
been a
Comic
box.
Con.
I mean, I don't think they needed to make it. And it's like so many days. Like
Yeah.
it just didn't. They could have just stuck to the box. But I mean, speaking of the box, we'll talk about the box real quick just before we end here. So the box, the online box, at least, is
Yeah.
what they announced. June 25th is when it's going to be coming out online. It's $85, which is not bad for obviously the
No.
boxes. We're getting 3 pops and 1 soda in this this set. So that's not like the biggest thing. Obviously, we've gotten past 2 sodas, 3 pops.
Yep.
Other things sometimes like a mascot, obviously, because there's no like event, so we're not gonna get those, I'm sure. So it should just be a mix. Seeing these, maybe it'll be a mix of some protos, Franny's, and Freddy's. We haven't gotten too many leaks. There was, I think, maybe like 2 early on, and since then we haven't really seen anything. But I don't know. The price point's not bad for the box. Obviously, they're gonna have the in-person event thing still, and then now we're getting this online one. But I don't know, like, what do you think? I mean, obviously, we've said this before that sodas are only gonna exist at like
Yeah.
con type events, and again, we're getting maybe another one, which I'm sure will be either a recycled one or just like
Yeah.
a Freddy as something plain
I'm
where
pretty
they
sure it's a
paint them.
recycled soda. Like you said,
Yeah.
Freddy as ones that they had extras of that didn't sell, and they slapped Freddy's head on it. I still love the boxes. I'll probably get one. I do love this time of opening these boxes, and I do wish there were more leaks so we could see maybe what we can get. We kind of saw those few leaks a few weeks ago, and it kind of ended there, which I find to be interesting. It's either one, they've really have kept it under wraps, the interest just isn't there, so people don't care, which I don't think is true. Or there's like not much to be leaking in these boxes. Maybe it is that Franny and maybe it's like that Fun on the Run box.
Yeah, like maybe every box has that Franny Fred proto, and
Yeah.
then you get a random Freddy.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's what it is. Which I don't think I don't hate that. Especially because like I do have a San Diego Comic-Con Freddy. You know, that look has existed for the cons before. So it'd be cool to have all three of them. But
And you know what's interesting is as I'm looking at this, like the picture again, and I'm looking at the some of the people that are saying stuff like these two, the Proto and Franny, they're not numbered.
oh,
They're literally just like gonna have a general release of those. So if they're put into every single box, like that's just gonna make that box even less exciting.
yeah, that is a
We'll
bummer.
see. I mean, they're. I'm not gonna lie. Like individually as pops, like they're good versions of Franny and Proto.
Agreed, they're cool.
So, but I'm assuming they could just be in every single box, and then you'll get a random Freddy.
Even though the Freddy is so like stereotypical. They've every like Freddy pop they've done has been like I don't know. The detail on the back though with her
Yeah, with the
little
bag
lounge fly bag is cool.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Let us know, guys. Let us know.
Let us know. Let us know what you think.
What you guys think.
Are you
Excited
going?
for these boxes? Are you going to the event? Are you going to buy the box online? Definitely tell us your thoughts of everything that we spoke about. Obviously, like from the beginning, Fanatics Fest stuff, the Rokimoto stuff that's being leaked and shown. What are your thoughts on Thrilljoy and where they stand? And now that we're getting products out in the stores, and are you excited for those or not? And obviously, all the Funko related stuff as well. But yeah, that'll be it for the episode. Charlie will let you guys know all the socials and everything to find us. Like I said earlier on, if you haven't already, hopefully do like this video and feel free to comment. We will respond back to you guys. And if you made it this far and you aren't subscribed yet, please subscribe. But yeah, Charlie, let everybody know.
Thank you. Yeah, so you can obviously find us at Collector Chatter on Instagram, and then at Collector_Migs and at Collector_Charlie. So please follow us over on those on Instagram. And then obviously if you're listening on podcast platforms, we really appreciate you listening there. Could you please, shoot us a review, follow us or subscribe, whatever platform you're listening to, what their verbiage is. And if you're on Spotify, always remember that you can interact with us. Every episode has a question and we're curious. That's, our way of interacting with our podcast platform OnlyFans. But that's why you should come over to YouTube. And like Migs has said, if you haven't already, if you please subscribe to this channel, like this video, hit the notification bell so you know when new videos come out. And then please just comment. We really appreciate when you comment. It obviously helps push out this video to more people to see. We're obviously still growing this channel. And we also just like to hear what you guys are thinking. And I always pride myself and we never leave a comment unread and we don't respond. So please just shoot them out there because we love talking to everyone. But once again, everyone, thank you. We'll be back soon. And as always, collecting is the way. Later, everyone.
Peace out.